as the famous drivers and the fast cars. You see, over the years, all the greats from all the great racing series have come here. Indy cars, stock cars, Formula One, Can-Am, Trans Am. They've all raced at Riverside, and this is the only place in the world that can make that claim. Riverside has been the launching pad for careers. Men like Dan Gurney and Mark Donahue launched their careers with victories here, and from the stock car ranks, Bill Elliott and Ricky Rudd both won their first race at Riverside. But Riverside has also ended careers and lives. The souls of old Joe Weatherly and European giant Rolf Stomlin rest out there somewhere. And then there's the death of this racetrack itself. After 3 glorious decades, Riverside is finally going to close. That's one of the stories we'll be following today on our live coverage of the historic 27th and final running of the Winston Western 500. Now let's meet our TBS Sports broadcast team, and we'll start with the guy who gets rid of his rookie stripe after a great job at Rockingham 2 weeks ago. Down on pit road, let's go to Pat Patterson.
Thank you, Dave Despain. And on pit road is Jeff Bodine. Now, he's no stranger to victory lane. He's on the pole for this one today. Jeff, how do you go about attacking this track?
Well, cautiously, but you've got to go after it. A lot of good drivers back here, a lot of good cars. We all like road racing. It's a challenge. It's fun to us. So it's no picnic out there, but this Levi Garrett car's been running good. And hopefully we can keep it up front all day and pull in this victory lane up here.
Okay, Jeff Bodine on the pole now. My partner on the pit road is Jerry Garrett, and he's on the other side of the pole.
We're here with Ricky Rudd, and this has been a good track for Ricky over the years, and you feel like it's going to be a good one for you today, Ricky?
Well, we hope so. You know, you got to have a lot of luck out here at Riverside, keeping everything going for the full 500 kilometers. But we've got a real good car in this Motorcraft 4, and I feel like we've got a car that's good enough to win.
Okay, well, good luck to you today, Ricky. Well, let's go back up topside now to the man who will call all the action today, our Ken Squire.
Thank you, Jerry. What a lovely day for a race. Temperature in the 70s, blue skies, not a sign of rain. But rain was the story earlier this week in Southern California. Torrential downpours have created a situation where, after 2 days of drying, you get about 3 or 4 feet off the track, and it's a dust condition. You get about 10 feet off the track, and you can be mired in a swamp right down to your quarter panels. You really need to stay on top of this 2.6-mile facility all day. A guy that can speak to that and will throughout the day is 19-time Winston Cup winner Buddy Baker.
Well, I tell you what, I've been in the garage area, and every driver here would like to win the last 500 here at Riverside. It's going to be a tremendous race, and every man here would like to be in the record books as the winner.
Thank you, Buddy. Our Winston Cup expert, Johnny Hayes, is back with us today. How do you see it?
Well, Ken, a lot of changes are coming up next year. Driver changes, crew member changes. I think you all know that there's a lot of big egos in this sport. And it goes without saying, everybody's going to try to prove that they are the key to the team this year. It's going to be awful embarrassing if Ricky Rudd goes out next year and someone else comes in that car and starts winning and he doesn't run well. So all these teams are going to try to run good today to prove that I was the magic of this team.
Let's go to Dave Despain at the SPP Pit Center.
One of the things these fans will be watching here today, Ken, is the battle for the Winston Cup points. Still a lot of money up for grabs. But at the top of the heap, Dale Earnhardt has already locked up the championship, and he is certainly going to be out there charging today. He has something yet to prove this year. If he can win this race and the final race of the season at Atlanta, he can tie the modern record for single-season victories. Watch for Earnhardt to be on the charge. En route to the front, he's going to have to get around old Bill Elliott. In the second half of this season, Bill has come alive. That team has been rejuvenated, reorganized, and Elliott is definitely going to be very much a factor here today. He's looking for his third straight win. There's a good look at Bill from Dawsonville. He learned to race out there on the back roads in North Georgia, and so he's got a certain wealth of experience that he brings here to Riverside. Now we want to move down and talk to a guy that a lot of people think might be a dark horse to win this race. He's done a lot of testing here, and it's not the traditional kinds of testing. He starts from third. Let's go to Pat Patterson, who's with Rusty Wallace.
Well, this is a man who loves to throw the car around out here, and when it really heats up, Rusty gets going. Rusty, what are you going to do here today at Riverside?
I'm just going to run hard all day long and try to save the brakes, save the transmission. It's a long race out here. I expect a lot of cars to jump out and lead real quick. Jeff's real strong. I expect him to jump out, but I just got to play my cool. You know, we won the first road race up in Watkins Glen, and we're going to try to win this again. This is the same car we had up there. It's running well. And that Blue Max Kodiak team sure does need another win, and this would be a nice place to get it.
Well, Rusty's right behind the pole sitter, Jeff Bodine, as they get ready to fire him up at Riverside. Back to you, Dave.
As the crowd on. We're just about set to get underway here. Those engines will be coming to life momentarily, and as you can see, it is a lovely day after all the rain here. Let's get back up topside. Ken Squad.
Thomas W. King is about to give the command to fire the engines and put this race underway. He is the Grand Marshal, chairman of the board of Alpha Beta Stores. 42 cars at the ready on pit road for this 2.6-mile, 9-turn course. It is tough on equipment. Yesterday, let's get the order to start the cars right now. And the command has been given to fire the engines. Thomas W. King giving the word to get this field underway. And the 42 starters, led by Jeff Bodine, the 1984 winner, really want to get this one on. It's 119 laps, 311 miles, 500 kilometers for $398,000, and a tremendous crowd. From our TBS helicopter, our Vision Group helicopter, giving you these dramatic shots of this 2.6-mile facility. Eddie Gray, the first winner here way back in the early days, and then, of course, Dan Gurney dominating for 5 years with Parnelli Jones, and the likes of Mark Donahue winning here as well in stock car racing. Command has been given. Motors come to life. We're set to go. Jeff Bodine, 1984 winner, sitting on the pole. Field about to roll out. Great field today of 19 Chevrolets, 9 Fords, 5 Oldsmobiles, 5 Pontiacs, and 4 Buicks. The 42-car field averaging 115 miles per hour. The 19th pole for Jeff Bodine. First time here at Riverside. Second pole this year. Earlier, there you see the number 5 from the Hendrick Racing Stable. On this beautiful California day, welcome to live Winston Cup action. The most competitive automobile racing in the world is about to unfurl its colors in Southern California. One race left in 1987 when they unlimber these machines in Atlanta, Georgia. Now you're looking out of the Xerox car. Alan Kowicki carrying one of our cameras. What a great year he's had. Rookie of the year last year. He'll be giving us a lot of excitement around this course. Left and right hand of these 3,500-pound cars. The road racers, they say it feels like no brakes in the machine. So the field is rolling out. And as they do, the question is, what kind of a field do they face today? Buddy Baker gives us this course description of Riverside International Raceway. The lineup for today's Winston Western 500. In the front row, it's Jeff Bodine, the 84 winner, and Ricky Rudd, the 1985 champion. In row 2, it's Rusty Wallace, winner at Watkins Glen earlier this year, and Terry Labonte, twice a winner here at Riverside in the June race. Row 3, there you find Kyle Petty, and alongside is Bill Elliott. For row 4, it's Alan Kowicki and Dale Earnhardt, whose best is second here. Row 5 is Michael Waltrip, and there's Benny Parsons beside him. In row 6, it's a 3-time winner here, Bobby Allison and Spanaway Washington's Derek Koch. Row 7, 3-time West Coast champion Jim Robinson and Harry Gant. In row 8, Bobby Hillen and the 2-time winner of the race, Richard Petty. Row 9 is Sterling Marlin and IMSA road racing champion Herb Hare. Row 10 is Rick Wilson and Roy Smith from Seattle, Washington. Row 11 is Rick Hendrick out of Charlotte, North Carolina with an onboard camera, and Dave Marcus. Row 12 is Joe Ruttman and George Fulmer. Row 13, Davey Allison and Morgan Shepard. In row 14, it's Darrell Waltrip and Glenn Stewart. Row 15, Rick McRae and Giacomo Giacomo. Row 16, Tommy Kendall and Herschel McGriff. Row 17, Harry Gallardi and Ernie Urban. Row 18, Bill Schmidt and Chad Little. Row 19, Phil Parsons and Ken Schrader. Row 20, Dale Jarrett and Jimmy Means. Buddy Arrington and Ruby Garcia round out the field as they come out of turn number 9 and get set for a start. Here we are at Riverside. 119 laps to make the distance this afternoon. And breaking to the line in front. Into turn 1. Who's going to give first as the green comes out for Mr. Cage? Bodine gets it. Ricky Rudd drops into second. Terry Labonte is in third. Back to fourth, falling one position. On that start is the car of Rusty Wallace. Through the S's for the first time. And you see car number 5 trying to pull away. Getting about 3 car lengths for just a moment. That'll shorten up right here at turn 6.
see Earnhardt running in that 5th position, going in the 6th spot as they begin to get them going. Bill Elliott here for the lead. Ricky Rudd right there in 2nd spot, closes in on car number 5, Bodine, at turn 8. Downhill, negative camber corner. Into that long straightaway. Speed here up to 180 miles per hour. It was in this area where Rolf Stolman and came to some 200 miles an hour, and at the end of this long straightaway, turn number 9, the body on the car came disentangled, and he lost his life here 2 years ago. Most critical part of the track, right here, coming to turn 9. Wide open at better than 180. Hard braking on these 3,500-pound cars. And the Chevrolet of Bodine out in front, drawing away from Ricky Rudd in 2nd spot here in the 1st lap. Meanwhile, a little further back, Earnhardt is trying to get himself around Bill Elliott. At the end of lap number 1 of 119, big crowd on hand today. We see Bodine 1st, Rudd 2nd. Back to 3rd comes the Rusty Wallace car, and up to 4th is Dale Earnhardt.
Earnhardt is flying. He just passed where you're not supposed to, going across the tunnel area. He is really moving.
And he's closing in on Rusty Wallace. There you see Wallace in the 27 car, and directly behind him, the man of the year. 3-time Winston Cup champion, Dale Earnhardt. Won it last year, won it this year, with still a race to go in Atlanta, Georgia. And look at Earnhardt working on Rusty Wallace as he tries to take the spot. Incredible start.
Well, you know, Rusty Wallace and Earnhardt are best friends, but they love to intimidate each other on the racetrack. They love to bump each other. They play around. And I'll guarantee you, they're going to get together and get after each other because there's a big ego battle here.
Car number 3, Dale Earnhardt, who has never won on this track. He's had a couple of second places here. Closes it on Rusty Wallace once again. Here they are in the fastest part of the course. There you see the number 3. Right behind him comes Terry Labonte, a former winner. Then Bill Elliott is next. And big surprise of qualifying, that car of the Wood brothers. 7 times the Wood brothers have won on this track. Kyle Petty at the keyboard in car number 7, maintaining a good, steady 6th position now.
Well, Rusty Wallace won at Watkins Glen, and the way he won that race, everyone says, is brakes. He could drive by everyone and drive in deep, and he did that earlier and just drove right by Terry Labonte when Terry Labonte got on the brakes. It'll be interesting to watch, see if his brakes last.
Brakes a critical factor on this racetrack, you may be sure.
They certainly are, and especially going into turn 9. If you don't have the proper brakes there, you get off in the corner, and it screws up the whole lap for you, and you lose a lot of time.
2nd lap complete, and now from the Superflow in-car camera, you're riding with Rick Hendrick, a rookie driver, a man who owns all kinds of car franchises around the country.
Well, Rick Hendricks asked me to tell his kids, Ricky and Lynn, hello for him and not to worry about him. So we're going to take good care of your daddy, and your mom's here, so watch your daddy have a good time.
There's the in-car camera from Superflow car, and out in front, or from the Folgers car with our Superflow in-car camera. Now, watch these 2 leaders another time. It is Bodine 1st, Ricky Rudd 2nd, 3-car length differential. They stream down that back straightaway. Wallace is deployed 3rd, and there you see in 4th the blue and yellow car. That is Dale Earnhardt, 11 times the winner this year. As Bodine tries to stretch it out a little bit, gets caught up here in turn number 9. The track record in qualifying for this course is the Tim Richmond mark from 1986 at 118 miles an hour. Bodine in qualifying did a 1:17.934 this season. There you see the interval between 1 and 2. Jeff Bodine, who won this race, as you remember, in the darkness back in 1984. Sparks flying off the car. Bobby Allison looked like he had it won and cut a tire late in the race. Now there's car 15. And you're inside the Xerox automobile. Xerox car of Alan Kowicki, who is running in 11th place. Alan Kowicki trying to move up through this field. Front at turn 6, the leaders busting through. Definitely trying to close in. Earnhardt on the Rusty Wallace car, and Ricky Rudd squares off. It's a Ford Chevrolet battle up in front. Here's that battle in 3rd and 4th. Rusty Wallace there in car number 27, maintaining an excellent pace as the Pontiac leads that Chevrolet into the long back straightaway. In 5th spot is Terry Labonte, 6th is Elliott, 7th is Petty, Kyle, 8th is Benny Parsons, 9th is Mike Waltrip.
Well, Johnny Hayes, as a race fan, loves to watch these 2 guys get together because they both are very aggressive, and they both know that they're better than the other one, you know, and they're allowed to hit anything, go sideways on anything. But this is macho stuff right here, and I'm sure Buddy Baker loves to see him come. They macho around everybody for Buddy because Buddy, he's not intimidated by those high school boys.
Just kids.
Well, I'm noticing one thing. If they're macho, they better get with it because the front two cars right now are stretching out a pretty good lead over them.
And the front car in particular. Bodine, look at him fly through the S's, just leaning that car inside and outside, crashes. Back to third place, and there goes Earnhardt in the S's. Scoots by.
The things that motivates Dale Earnhardt is an opportunity that he will have only a couple of more times here. We're getting down to the end of Riverside's history. He's never won at this racetrack. He wants in his career to win on every track where this series runs. And if he doesn't get with the program, he's only got 2 more shots at doing that. He has come from 8th spot. He is the charger in this field. It's hard to pass at Riverside. He's passing people like Dale Earnhardt. He's around Wallace, and he's headed after the leaders now as he has moved into 3rd spot.
And he is definitely closing up on 2nd place. Let's go back to those leaders again and quickly tell you that in 9th is Bobby Allison, while 10th on the track is Michael Waltrip. 11th is Kulwicki, and 12th is Harry Gant. Jim Robinson of the West Coast is currently 13th. Notice how lush and green it is out here. Riverside has never looked lovelier. If this is to be its last 500, Mother Nature certainly came forth and gave this track an extra special luster for this weekend. Here's Ricky Rudd's car in 2nd place, and the man of the hour, Earnhardt, is trying to close in on it. You have a Chevrolet in 1st, a Ford in 2nd, Chevy in 3rd, Pontiac in 4th. There you see the 2nd place car of Ricky Rudd, former winner here, and leans those cars. That 200 pounds looks like it makes a big difference. Let's check the interval between this 15 car and Earnhardt, who is trying to close in on him. Get an opportunity here. See just how much interval. There you see Earnhardt in the number 3. Back there in 3rd. Wallace is in 4th. Labonte 5th. Elliott 6th. Back to turn 6, the turn that took the life of Joe Weatherly. Back here in 1964. Nasty corner. Here they are. Down to turn 8, downhill. That's really downhill, isn't it, buddy? You can lose it and pitch it right out in the wilderness there.
It's definitely one of the toughest little corners on the whole course. You really use the brakes real hard, and if you go in and get on the outside there, you go right out in the desert.
Well, everybody has an opinion about this racetrack, and now you watch the 27 being challenged a bit by Terry Labonte. Not that much. Labonte actually dropping back a bit there. Benny Parsons told us about what this racetrack, about what the toughest thing about adjusting to the track was.
The biggest problem is that you're going to the right primarily, and we always go to the left. And, you know, you just get that little heart jumps up in your throat about every time you go into turn 9, turn 6 here because it is a right-hand corner. Whereas back in the oval track, we have made so many left-hand corners that your heart don't jump up like it does at Riverside.
It's a heart pounder for sure. As they come up here through that little cardiac canyon that leads up into turn number 6. Those S's can really get you. Get off in there or have a little problem with your steering, and you got big problems.
Well, you got a lot of problems. If you drop off in the S's, you also blind the vision of the cars coming, and if you slide back out in the racetrack, you get hit.
That's about 130 miles an hour. You had steering go away there one time.
Morgan Shepherd around in the S's right there. You see the dust that he threw up, but it's really not as bad this year because of the rain that we had. He's got something amiss there on him.
Yeah, he's crawling crab-like back toward the racetrack. Something truly amiss on Morgan Shepherd. Saw his wife and baby daughter out here this morning. He was all pumped up for this race, but something happened to car number 26, the Bernstein car. Let's take a look in the replay. We can see what happened here.
He got with somebody.
The other guy kept on going. Let's get an identity on him. He's trying to get underneath him. Spins off. Is that Richard Petty or Buddy Arrington there? Kind of look like their colors. It was a West Coast car. It was Glenn Struer out of Simi Valley, California, the 81 car, which is also a blue with red piping car. So Morgan Shepherd back underway again and dropping out of the top 20 here. Back with the leaders another time. There is Jeff Bodine in front, as he has been from the outset. Came off the point. In the 2nd spot is Ricky Rudd. And Earnhardt closing all the time in 3rd. Jeff Bodine with 5 Winston Cup victories to his credit. Since 1979, he's earned over $2,600,000. And going into turn 1, we have a bad smoker. I think Herschel McGriff, defending champion in the West Coast Series, is in trouble. And there's a big oil down here. Indeed, car number 04 has blown an engine, and it is bringing out the first caution of the day. first yellow flag will come out at lap 8. While working lap 8, Herschel McGriff, 60 years old in December, driving with a broken leg today, is off the track, and he has poured oil and lubricant from the start line all the way into turn number 1.
Here's the look from the in-car camera, the Superflow camera, and Rick Hendrick got a pretty good look at this guy right here as he went off the racetrack, because Rick had been following Herschel around here for about 3 or 4 laps. That's smart on Hendrick's part, because he's the rookie. Even though he's been around racing all his life, he is a rookie driver on this racetrack, and Rick was just following Herschel around. Herschel has driven, I don't know, 300 or 400 races on this racetrack in a career that dates back into the 40s, but now, unfortunately, Herschel McGriff has taken us off the racetrack into a yellow flag condition. The cars are coming on pit road, and we'll be back with more of the action of the Western 500 right after this.
Pit road, as all of the front of the field came onto pit road, the Bill Elliott team was changing tires, and as they did, 2 members of their crew were injured. Now we're watching what happened. You can already see Mike Waltripp's car spun around 2 other cars. This is after it has come to a finish. The 9 car was up on the jack, and 2 people were injured. This is one of the worst pit roads, most difficult places to get on. For more on the story, let's go to Jerry Garrett on pit road.
Well, Ken, right now we have preliminary word that Chuck Hill and Butch Stevens were the 2 crew members involved. We don't know the extent of their injuries. They're both talking to their fellow crewmen right now. They don't seem to be too seriously injured. We hope not. Yeah. But it's very crowded down here. This pit road is as crowded as it has ever been, and we've got to watch for this type of activity down here. Be very careful all day.
Well, that frenzy that takes place when they pit cars, and Elliott was pitting either in the first or second pit as you enter into the pits. NASCAR has closed pit road. No one can bring their car in now. This is live from Riverside, California. There has been an incident on pit road, and 2 members of the Bill Elliott crew apparently were run over while they were attempting to pit the cars. First caution of the day created when Herschel McGriff blew an engine. Let's go to Pat Patterson.
Bobby Hillin Jr.'s car was in, and apparently in that altercation, he had a lot of the front left side of his car was damaged. The crew was trying to mash the hood back down. A lot of cosmetic work will need to be done. That certainly is going to mean he's going to be back in a few more times, but that was the story on this end of the pit road.
It happened on the left front of the car. The left front tire man and the carrier, I believe, were the folks involved in the incident here early in the going. We're waiting for an update on the condition of the 2 injured men on the Elliott crew. Bill Elliott sat there, looked very upset, and they backed him off. His brother Ernie and Dan for just a moment spoke to him, and he has come back on the track. He is back with the field, and I'm sure they're talking to him on the radio now about what is happening on pit road. Again, NASCAR has closed pit road at this time after this crash. And there you see Elliott's car back on the track. He has not lost a lap, but he was running way in the end of the field as he sat there and waited word on his compatriots out of Dawsonville, Georgia, who worked on this car. Again, it was lap number 8 when we had the caution, and as they brought all the field on the pit road, Elliott had pitted very early. He was running well up in front in the first 5 or 6 positions. Let me correct that. He was running just out of the top 5 or 6. He was back a little further than that. He had gotten in with the first group of cars, and as more cars from the rear of the field came on pit road, this incident, I think somebody got hit in the rear. Michael Waltrip got spun around and may have hit someone. Here's Jerry Garrett.
We're down here with Dan Elliott, who was also injured just slightly in that. Dan, tell us what happened.
Don't know what happened. I came around the car, got my tire off, downed my tire, turned back around. I was putting the other one on, and people came across the top of me. I didn't know if a car hit them or a car hit our car, and it pushed me out of the way, and I fell on my shoulder and my leg, but other than that, I'm okay, but I couldn't see what happened.
Well, do you have any preliminary word on the other crew members right now?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, we also have word that Steve Caldwell, a 3rd and a 4th crew member on the Elliott crew, were also hurt.
We will update you on this story. This is pit road where the action is taking place. A serious incident on pit road in the early going involving the Bill Elliott crew. We are gathering some more facts on this, and as we try to piece the story together for you, we'll take a few moments and talk to our pit reporters. try to bring this to you as succinctly as we possibly can. Gathering more information at this time, and we're going to get a couple more pit reports for you as to this incident on pit road that happened in the 8th lap. NASCAR has continued to close pit road. We are under a lengthy caution. Three people have been injured to the point where they're being taken to the medical hospital here at the track. A fourth member, and perhaps even a fifth member, was tagged. We're not sure if the fourth member they were reporting on as getting hit was one of the brothers, Dan Elliott, or if there was another member. And they're trying to get that story, but they don't want to be in the way at this moment, as they are still down there on pit road. 2 ambulances are on pit road, and we'll go back to that area of the track for an update after we pause for these minutes. With you at Riverside, California, after a serious incident in the 8th lap, has put out a caution flag originally created by a blown engine. That was a little matter, but then as the front of the field came onto pit road, the car in the very first pit was Bill Elliott's number 9. Here we see this is taken just after the incident took place. And you see the number 75, the Rutland car, the number 30 car had been hit and turned sideways, and 3 members of the Bill Elliott crew have been injured. For an update on those injured and what may have caused the incident, Jerry Garrett has been getting this report together.
Well, Ken, one of the treacherous spots about coming into pit road here at Riverside is this hump over here. I don't know if we can see it too well, but there's a couple of skid marks on that hump. If you come in too fast through this dip, you get almost airborne coming in here, and you lose control of the car. And I think they were coming in here 3 and 4 abreast in that pit stop, and that may have been what caused this thing. Now, we have an update that on the Elliott crewmen that were injured, Chuck Hill, Butch Stevens, and Steve Caldwell have been taken to the hospital for treatment. We don't know their conditions. We don't want to speculate on that. We'll tell you something when we know it. Dan Elliott, as we mentioned earlier, as he said he hurt his shoulder, he's going to stay in the pits. Now, members from the Darrell Waltrip pit and also the Terry Labonte pit have come over and offered their services to the Elliott crew, which is now shorthanded, a very magnanimous gesture.
George Fullmer, and he is leading for the first time in a Winston Cup race since 1974. As they come down for the green flag, they'll take it on the back straightaway. They'll take it just after they come around this turn number 8 and get ready to go. Here they are, back under race conditions and breaking out in front as they take that green. Car number 7, Alan Kowicki going forward, and Darrell Waltrip on the inside. The orange car, Waltrip, and there's number 7. Here is Earnhardt busting through. As they come down underneath the bridge for the first time, we find Waltrip is in first. And Ricky Rudd comes into second, Alan Kowicki dropping into third. Back under green. From the Xerox in-car camera, here they are around turn 9, back to the start-finish line. At the stripe, they complete 17 laps, shifting into turn number 1. And you see a big challenge being put on Kowicki's car. That's Earnhardt pulling alongside him. Here are your 2 leaders. And you see Earnhardt already pulling up into third. Alan Kowicki, the little independent, falling to fourth in that Xerox car. There's the number 15, Ricky Rudd, seeking a second victory in this Winston Western 500, closing up on Darrell Waltrip, who won it back-to-back in 80 and 81. Alan Kowicki a bit high there for a moment, and he's being challenged again. Bodine is the man who's come into third. Bodine has come to third. Kowicki is fourth, and Earnhardt is right behind him. Now Earnhardt's right in front of him. There's Bodine in the third. And in fourth, it is Dale Earnhardt, with Alan Kowicki falling to fifth, and in sixth is Rusty Wallace. George Fulmer back to seventh.
Well, I think when they started there, I believe Darrell Waltrip, the way he slung by everybody, he probably said, "Thanks a lot, Waddell. That was nice power."
Now look at this battle up in front. And as we watch the leaders going down into turn number 1, car number 15 has gone back in the lead. Look at Bodine trying to dive beneath Waltrip. He gets right on the bottom of the racetrack. Around turn 9, 130 miles an hour here. And it's Jeff Bodine sticking on the bottom of the track, and he's going for second place. Ricky Rudd in first, Bodine in the second. Darrell Waltrip now deployed third. Earnhardt, shaking loose, comes up in fourth. And Rusty Wallace, you saw the move there as he swung to the inside, takes fifth. Alan Kowicki dropping to sixth. Look at Earnhardt on the attack. He may not have won here. He's at a second place here, but he sure uses up that racetrack. Let's talk for just a moment about those who use up that racetrack. Richard Petty does a Methodist job of that, and so for that matter does Joe Rutland.
Yeah, they're all over the racetrack. I was a little nervous when I realized that my car was starting directly behind Richard Petty. I told him just go ahead and knock the windshield out and go get another one to put in about the first pit stop.
Because he gets out in the rocks and throws them at you a little?
Yeah, he'll throw more rocks than you can carry in one day.
And, of course, Buddy Baker's car is being driven by Herb Hare from the International Motorsports Association, brilliant young driver out of Peoria, Illinois. Look at the battle up in front, 15 and 5. The red car, the Ford, is Ricky Rudd. Right with him is Bodine, and Bodine loves this turn 9. He just flies in there, flogs that Chevrolet as he moves in on the Ford. Let's go to Jerry Garrett for his observation here.
Well, Ken, we're down in the pits of Sterling Marlin, the number 44 car right now. There's a lot of consternation down here. When they closed pit road, no one could pit. When they opened it back up finally after several laps, there was an ambulance parked in Sterling's pit. He was not able to pit. As a result of that, he has gone from second place to last on that restart. He's now flying up through the field, and his pit crew is trying to confer with the NASCAR officials to get him repositioned in some equitable spot in the field because they don't think what happened to them was fair.
Earnhardt in third, and into fourth falls Waltrip. Wallace in fifth, Kowicki in sixth, Bobby Allison seventh. As you see, Dale Earnhardt trying to close in here. Rusty Wallace is also on the move into the fifth position, moving around Kowicki. It's amazing how well Kowicki has done this year. Back to full song. Another time there's a very slow car just in front of those leaders. Somebody off the pace just a bit. Looks a little like George Fulmer's car, but I can't believe it's him. That is car 81 that's in trouble. Glenn Stewart from Simi Valley, California, that's off the pace. Look at Bodine. Once again, trying to get outside, buddy.
Well, you know, when he qualified, he was much quicker through turn 9 than any car that qualified, and that seems to be a strong suit, but Ricky Rudd's using a lot of racetrack getting into 9, and he can't make his move.
And those two together are pulling away just a tickle from car number 3, Dale Earnhardt, in the third position. Waltrip in fourth, Wallace in fifth. Going sixth is Alan Kowicki, and he's about to get some heavy pressure from Bobby Allison.
Well, Bobby Allison's always been a great road racer. He's doing a heck of a job today. He's coming up through the field. And Bobby's aggressive, but he's also smooth and he's smart, and he will take care of the car and use it when it's necessary.
Leaders around turn 6. Down the hill. There's no turn 7 on this track. Turn has been disregarded for some time. Here they are. Same turn 8. Wide away, negative camber. And Ricky Rudd stays out in front. Two previous winners in first and second. A man seeking his first win here, Dale Earnhardt, who has won 11 races this year, being trailed by Darrell Waltrip. And pulling away from it. Boy, a lot of power out of that Lula Rosa engine. Car number 3. Here's Bobby Allison trying to close up. Now here comes the Alan Kowicki car. Remember, that's in 6. Bobby Allison right there with him, and also Parsons. Parsons in the 35, Terry Labonte back there. Here's Bobby Allison's number 22 around turn 9 and trying to close in on number 7, Alan Kowicki. Number 3 is Petty. Earnhardt comes on pit road. Unexpected stop for Earnhardt. Richard Childress' team ready for him as he pits all the way on the far end.
I'm sure he cut down a tire. This is the kind of thing you face at Riverside. Those tires are thin, they get hot, you can push a rock through them very easily, and that's just the kind of problem you have here, so you just have to go for it and change them.
12 and 1/10 seconds for tires on car number 3.
And that is a great stop. That is a great stop.
Dale Earnhardt back on the course as you see the field rumbling up on him here. There's Chad Little, the guy that just won the Winston West Championship, right behind Earnhardt. Back with the leaders again. Ricky Rudd, number 15, staying on the point. And perched on his rear bumper. Here comes Bodine looking again. Here's Bodine trying to draw alongside. They're even at 180 miles per hour. Who's going to lift first?
Rudd pulled over and gave him room to go by, so I'm sure Ricky said, well, I pulled you down that straightaway 7 or 8 laps. I'll let you try, and I'd like to follow you a while and see if I can't work on your rear bumper like you've been working on mine, big boy.
Here they are, car number 15, Ricky Rudd back to second place now. Bodine, man set on the pole, now back in first. Chevrolet leads it. Ford is in second. Chevrolet is in third. Rusty Wallace's Pontiac is in fourth. Then it's Alan Kowicki back there in his Ford in fifth position. There's that battle developing now for third spot. Darrell Waltrip has his rear mirror full of car number 27.
I just noticed when Darrell and Rusty come through 9, he gave him a little shot to let him know where he was at. He's getting his attention. I wouldn't be surprised to see Rusty get by Darrell pretty quick here. He's on the move.
See, that isn't done in road racing. Road race people don't see that kind of thing happen. You don't go up and tap somebody's bumper. That's just regular stuff out here.
Well, it's not being mean. It's just letting him know that you're fixing to make a move, and if he don't plan to pick up the pace, you're going to make a move on him.
Oh, yeah, Buddy Baker. It's not being mean to knock him off into the third turn. I just told him I didn't want to hold me up. But let me tell you something. Poor old Darrell looked back there a while ago. He had Earnhardt and said, oh, Lord, and I looked back. Here comes that crazy Rusty Wallace. So he's sitting there saying, I can't relax.
Let's go to the pits and Pat Patterson.
Story on Dale Earnhardt's car is this flat tire, as they've already marked it here. Now, we told you earlier that you can get into this kind of trouble at Riverside, and that's exactly what has plagued the number 3 car. A flat tire, that caused a pit stop, and it lost Dale Earnhardt some valuable time.
Earnhardt has dropped out of the battle. This is the battle right now. It is for third and fourth. Waltrip's number 17. Poor old Darrell there trying to hold off the number 27. Look at Wallace down on the inside. They'll come to the wire dead even, and that'll give Waltrip some advantage as they come into the left-hander. No! A great move by Rusty Wallace, and he is around Darrell Waltrip. One quick note. Poor old Darrell has come from 27th starting spot. He really got the benefit of that yellow flag. The 3 cars that qualified 1, 2, 3 are ahead of him, and then comes the 27th qualifier, Darrell Waltrip. So he has solved one of his big problems today, and that was how to get to the front.
For just a moment, Darrell Waltrip owned Rusty Wallace. For a split second, they had him right on the outside. It could have been disastrous, and they just ease on through. Now you see them with Rusty Wallace in third, Darrell Waltrip in fourth. The leaders, meanwhile, are still Jeff Bodine and Ricky Rudd running nose to tail for first place here in our live coverage on the Superstation of the Winston Western 500. There's more to come, lots more action, so stay tuned. 119 laps complete. You're watching car number 3. That is Dale Earnhardt fighting his way back to the field. He dropped to 29th after he had to come in for a tire change. He's just passing Davey Allison, closing up on Jim Robinson, 3-time Winston West champion. Up in front, Bodine leads, Rudd second, Wallace third, Waltrip fourth, Allison fifth, and flying, Parsons sixth, Labonte seventh, Kowicki eighth, Kyle Petty is ninth, Terry Gaddis in 10th. Let's go back up with those leaders another time, and here they are, still stuck together just as they were earlier. Jeff Bodine, that his biggest payday, 1986 Daytona, when he took that one home. Out in front, Ricky Rudd rambling along in second place in the Bud Moore Ford. Then there's a bit of an interval back to third where Rusty Wallace has the Pontiac. So it's Chevrolet, Ford, Pontiac, 1, 2, 3 here at this juncture of the Winston Western 500. Live on the Superstation this afternoon. You're riding with Jeff Bodine here as he just guides this car, this 3,500-pound car, so gingerly around turn number 9 and then flat puts it back toward turn number 1. Jeff Bodine out in front. He works really hard to be a good racer, road racer.
I try to be, you know. I guess I go back to running roads back in Chemung when I was a kid in high school. You know, all those dirt roads and windy, curvy roads up through the mountains gave me some practice, I guess. Maybe for road racing, I don't know. But it seems like the first time I got into a road race, I enjoyed it. I did well. And I really do enjoy road racing, and maybe that's part of it. If you enjoy something, you do it better, or you try harder. I don't know what it is, but it's a lot of fun.
There you see Jeff Bodine out there having a lot of fun in car number 5 as he continues to lead on this treacherous 9-turn Riverside.